But now we got to move on to another story, and this has to deal with Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and Pete Buttigieg. Paul, take it away.
So this is interesting. So it seems like Mark Zuckerberg has taken a liking to Pete Buttigieg's campaign. So this article mentions that. So first of all, I didn't know this either. So Pete Buttigieg also went to Harvard. They had some overlap in friends at Harvard. Remember, they're only 3 years apart. And ultimately, what ended up happening was Mark Zuckerberg attended an event of Pete Buttigieg's in South Bend, and as is similar with previous campaigns, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan gave a lot of financial support and also recommended individuals who can help with social media networking and people who are social media PR people to multiple campaigns in both parties, in various House and Senate seats and presidential campaigns as well. But that has been scaled back largely in recent years. And so this one's a little bit interesting because it seems like...
And I do have to interrupt you. We got a super chat. Thank you again to people giving us super chats. Robin Tyner for a $2 super chat. Great job. Keep spreading the truth. Semper Fi. I'm going to assume that you are a fellow Marine as well. Semper Fidelis to you.
So it seems that in private emails between Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla and the campaign, the Buttigieg campaign, they've recommended a number of individuals who can help the campaign specifically, both with social media style things and elsewhere in the campaign. So a spokesman for the Zuckerberg-Chan family told Bloomberg News that the employees asked the tech mogul and Chan to recommend them. So their line is these individuals wanted to work specifically with this campaign, and that's why they recommended him. That seems a little weird. Like I don't see people being super gung-ho and going to their bosses and upper echelon of their company and being like, I really want to work for this presidential campaign. Why don't you send me head of Pepsi? Like, that's what? But that's what they're saying is what happened. It seems a little odd. Although Facebook certainly is more than a soda soft drink company, one that is engaged in popular communication and therefore there's some more overlap. But they all were being recommended to the same campaign. There doesn't seem to be much record of him bringing anyone to any other campaign. And the major speculation here is that he's recommending people specifically for the Buttigieg campaign and some financial contributions as well, because Buttigieg is probably the most favorable to Silicon Valley interests. Like, he's one of the few that has not spoken vocally about some kind of additional regulations for the tech industry or breaking up any of the tech industry or any kind of, actually really nobody's spoken about the deplatforming and can we turn this into some kind of common use, what's the word I'm looking for, common carrier, universal, there's a word for it.
Yeah, there is a word.
The public commons, a public utility.
Yeah, public utility.
Is the word I was looking for. So nobody's really mentioned that, but Pete has definitely shied away from any sort of breaking up the tech industry, regulating the tech industry, doing anything that would kind of hamstring them. And so the assumption here is that the Zuckerberg has his pick for the Democratic primary and is throwing his weight behind him.
Yeah, and it's an odd pick, too, because, look, here's the people who I think are going to make it to the end, possibly. And I'm going to name 5 of them. It's going to be Bernie Sanders. It's going to be Joe Biden, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Representative Tulsi Gabbard, and Andrew Yang. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not going to share with, the other team members got their own opinions as well, but Pete Buttigieg is just not one of them. Same thing for all the other candidates. They don't have momentum. They don't have a following. And it's really concerning when you see a tech giant like Facebook all of a sudden get real cozy to Pete Buttigieg. I mean, what is his message? I mean, there's an ongoing investigation in regards to how he's been mayor of South Bend, Indiana. And so when we look at this, we really have to ask ourselves, what is the bigger game? Is Pete Buttigieg trying to curry favors with Mark Zuckerberg? I mean, this isn't the first time they were seen together. There's that real creepy picture where both of them are sitting in a car together. So go figure on that one. But it just makes no sense. And I'm wondering who they're going to try and favor as the primary starts narrowing down all the candidates. seeing
I
Daniel.
wonder if this, I wonder if this dovetails with some of what Daniel was saying during the live stream, which
Yeah.
maybe he'll say right now. Maybe.
Daniel on the mic.
I think I'm going to say something a little bit different. That this is actually, if you think about it, this is very clever from Zuckerberg's point of view, because we know that Pete's not going to go anywhere, but he has a lot of money and he has enough people that are following him. So if Zuckerberg makes a really strong commitment to Pete, when Pete is handing over his delegates and his vote to some other candidate who is actually the more established person they think is going to win, one of the things he'll bring over is, hey, I got this thing with Facebook that I'd like you to incorporate in your campaign. So Zuckerberg doesn't even have to go to the big guy. He probably is going to try, but if he just goes with Pete, Pete can make that a condition, going and giving his support away. So
giving
Yep.
his support to whoever the candidate is that eventually supports is what you're saying. That's interesting. That could be. I wonder. I'm listening to your list, and I think that's optimistic. But I agree. I don't think Pete Buttigieg makes it, to the end.
But I'm just saying.
I think your top three are right. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of ubiquity around those choices.
Yeah,
Those three seem obvious. But Tulsi Gabbard is like the amount of conversation around her is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's pushing her into that top 5. I like it.
Okay, so here's the thing. Look, I believe that Representative Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang are 2 wild cards in this race, and I think they have enough momentum on social media to really continue on. Now, again, with name recognition, Senator Bernie Sanders, former Vice President Joe Biden, and Senator Elizabeth Warren have name recognition and some political infrastructure supporting them, so they are obviously the top 3. Warren and I'm not Warren. Screw that up. Andrew Yang and Representative Tulsi Gabbard, I believe, can make it into that top 5. And then where the primaries go from there, where the debates go from there, it's up in the air, seeing who will last the longest and who will actually make some real changes in this 2020 election
So
cycle.
it's interesting. The 2 names you didn't mention are the 2 people that it seems to me got the most institutional backing off of the last debate, and that's Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar.
Klobuchar's not going to last.
They both seem entirely irrelevant.
No, they're done. They're done.